With NLP, we don't go through the detail. So, you don't sort of tell me all the detail of what's happened. We will look at the behaviours which are driving the thoughts and the emotions. And the emotions then go back to and getting rid of those negative emotions.
One of the things that, because you've said at the age of 7, do you think that then there's an opportunity for NLP to be introduced earlier with children, perhaps as part of the schools, or do you think that might be a little bit too young and they need that time to develop?
So I don't know about any research on that aspect, but personally, for me, it would be too young.
Yeah.
It does depend on the child, and if the child has had trauma, which is different. But for me, it's that learning phase, and that the mind is a sponge, and it does need to learn. It does need to sort of soak up that sort of knowledge that you get as you're going through those real sort of key years, as you're going up through your 7, 14, 21, even up to 28, 30, you're still being influenced by different things and different aspects. So it's more of the environment, I would say, that the children are in as they're going through, and all the influences they have from their peers, from their family, from their friends, which are the key sort of influences, really, as opposed to bringing NLP forward.
And what do you find then with that are the misconceptions that people have with NLP? Has there any clients that have come to you and have said something which is completely not aligned with what NLP is?
So a lot of them come and not really sure, what to expect. So I would say it's come with an open mind. It is slightly different to other therapies, and it's very individual. So some NLP will suit some people, it won't suit everybody. And it's the same with other therapies, and there are other therapies around as well. But with NLP, we don't go through the content. So it's as opposed to sort of counselling, which may go through more content and more go through some more of the detail of maybe what's happened in the past. With NLP, we don't go through the detail. So, you don't sort of tell me all the detail of what's happened. We will look at the behaviours which are driving the thoughts and the emotions. And the emotions then go back to and getting rid of those negative emotions, which again will drive the behaviours and the thoughts and the actions and the beliefs.
Fantastic, because I think we had Jerry on a couple of weeks back, and the way that he explained it is that when the trauma happens or the incident happens, you react to it as you would in that time.
Yeah.
And then when you're later on in life, you can look back at that and go, okay, that wasn't an appropriate reaction. So it almost like it fixes it because you're looking through it from a different lens.
That's right. And there's several times now where something will happen and I'm thinking, why am I reacting in this situation? And I will sort of look at the reaction or the behaviour that I've the actions that I've got, and I'll link it back to potentially something which happened earlier on in life, and I think, well, that's not the same now. So I can change how I react to a situation by managing the thought process.
And do you think it's uncomfortable for people to go back to that? Because some people aren't willing to go back to the point where to look at the instance. Do you find that people are not willing to go back to that point?
No, when we go back and we look, particularly like timeline therapy, so we will go back and we'll go back to a very early age of looking when that very first event may have happened, and you might be talking, very, very young. You won't remember it consciously; it'll be unconsciously. So, unconsciously, something will come into your mind, and you will think of something, and you will react then not to the event, but it'll be in your sort of memory at that point in time. But it's talking to your unconscious mind, so they don't tend to react negatively, if that makes sense, because you're not going through the very detail or the detail of all the different events.
Yeah, it's not like where you're being asked to explain everything, which is the common trope with therapy is take me back to this stage and what you feeling and what have you, and give me all the details. Because that can be quite uncomfortable.
It can for some people, yes, and it may be not what some people want or need or like. So again, it's more of a talking to the unconscious mind and linking that back then to removing that initial sort of negative emotion, and then any subsequent events that lead up to the present day.